Hi everyone, Phil from Tech for Techs here. Today we're going to be looking at these two products, or should I actually say one product, because both of these things are the same, but are they? They're both Windows 10 Home, but the question is what's the difference? Well, basically one cost me £25, the other one cost me around about £85. So why is the same thing being sold at different prices? Are they actually the same thing? Or is one of them pirated? Or from a different place in the world? Or just at that price because Microsoft does not give a damn anymore? Okay, so we have these two products. From initial inspection, they look very similar. There is a few differences on the packs. First of all, I'll tell you which one is which. This one came from a UK distributor. This is the main place where Microsoft recommends we buy, as independent retailers, Microsoft Windows from. They are OEM version or DSP versions or whatever you want to call them these days, which basically means these are designed to go on a brand new machine. So if we were to build a new machine, you're supposed to put one of these on with the license, and that sticks onto the side of the machine. The catch is, this one here is £25 on eBay. You can also get them on Amazon and different places for roughly the same price, and elsewhere as well. You can get some which are just license keys without the packs and so forth, but I decided to go for the full pack as we are told we're supposed to use. The question is are we supposed to do that? Because Microsoft, well, let's put it this way, they're not willing to really talk to independent retailers, which, if I was to ask any vendor in the world a question about products we sell, they would answer them. Unfortunately, Microsoft, as you'll see with the conversation with the emails I had with them in a few minutes, is, well, they don't want to answer the questions because they basically don't want to get sued, because they're not willing to say yes, no or maybe, because there's that many rules and regulations at the moment against reselling software and so forth. They don't want to actually put their foot in it and say, yeah, you can buy the cheap one, but you're not supposed to, but there's nothing we can do about it. Or is there? So let's take a closer look at them. So initial looks, they're roughly the same. The packaging is slightly the same. And just so you know why we're doing it, the one with the star is the more expensive one from Distribution. I put that on so I won't get them mixed up. The packaging, the one from Distribution, the actual packet size is fractionally 2mm higher. Otherwise the width is roughly 1mm wider, but otherwise within roughly the same. They could just be manufactured at different places, because this one says made in USA, that one there, and this one over here is made in Germany. The sticker on this one looks a little bit wider, so the information fits across. Well, this one's not as wide, and they've sort of cramped everything in a bit more. Also, the one from Distribution also has information on, like for example, the label part on this one, and this one is exactly the same. But it doesn't have this work order number on the cheap one. It doesn't have the build date on the cheap one either. Made in Germany, made in USA. And then you've got a printer ID number, and they've both got printer ID numbers, and they are different. So obviously that shows they were printed on different printers. The box, the writing from what I can see is the same. I don't see any difference in the writing. Even this code down here is identical, with the exception of one thing. On the one from Distribution, there is a code down here. On the one from eBay, basically, there isn't. Does that make a big deal or not? I don't know. Because Microsoft refuse or are unwilling to answer any questions, we've no clue. Also, the sticker they've put over the lip here seems to be a little bit darker than it does there. Otherwise, they look exactly the same. The writing's the same. The font does look slightly different, but I think it's actually more down to the fact that they're using a darker ink, and the writing is stretched out a little bit more on this one than this one. On the reverse side, again, this is the £85 one. The writing, I've gone for it word by word and it looks identical. The only thing I see different is this one seems to be cropped in a bit more of a border around the edge, where this one seems to fill the card more so. That seems to be about the only difference. The card does seem to be a little bit whiter on this one. This one's got more of a creamy tint to it than a full white. But again, it could just be down to the resources they've used. So let's open them up. I haven't opened these, so we'll open them up and see exactly what is inside. So I'll show you as it is. One thing to notice on this one, the sticker came up pretty easily. The £25 one is sort of ripping the packet as it's stuck to the label. Again, it could just be down to supplies. But opening up, is there a difference? Well, actually, yeah, there is. This one here, obviously the writing is the same. We've got the model number, which is the same. But as soon as I see the sticker, I can see the colours on this cheaper one are a lot more vivid than the original one. Actually, the cheaper one looks better than the original one, or if the one from Distribution. I'm not sure if there is a difference. Again, it could be down to the printers they've used, but again, they are roughly the same. The font is different and smaller on this one compared to that. It's harder to see. You can see part of the codes. I'm not going to scrape the codes off on camera because I don't want to be accused of piracy or giving people codes and all this, that and the other. But let's take the packet out. There. And again, I'm just going to get a pen and mark it so I don't mix them up. So this one here is from Distribution. But otherwise, the packet, minus the sticker, looks identical. On the other side, again, looks nearly identical. This seems a bit bolder, but at the bottom, this one's dated 2017 Microsoft and made in Germany, printed by Sonopress GmbH. This one's got 2018 Microsoft, so if they are printed at different dates, that may correspond why the logo looks a little bit different and why the sticker looks different. But again, it's roughly the same. It's got the same model number on there as well. So let's flip it over. There's a difference. The original one, again, I keep calling it original, it's not necessarily original. This one's from Distribution. It's got a sticker over the top. You can see there it's even got like a code on the sticker. This one does not. There is no sticker there to stop it being opened. If I open them both up, find my knife. So let's open that one. And take the discs out. Disc 1, disc 2. Is there a difference? If I'm right, the one from Distribution looks a lot darker. The whites look a lot whiter. They do have holograms on the centre. Both of them do. I'm not sure if you can see that too close on the camera. The one for Distribution doesn't have the version number of Windows. At least I'm guessing it's a version number, and this one seems to have 1903 written on here on the reverse side. In 1903, let's just have a look. It might do on this one, it's just smaller writing. So the one from Distribution doesn't seem to have the version number of Windows on it. I'll try and get it on there at the reflection of the camera on the screen. where the one not from distribution, or should I say just from eBay, it has the model number of the version of Windows, which is 1903. In basics, the discs look the same. They scratch roughly the same. There is a hologram which I've noticed around the edge of this disc. That's from distribution. There isn't a hologram around the edge of this one. Again, it could be differences in the dates. It could be a forgery, who knows. One of the things I usually find about stickers is on forgeries, you tend to find the quality of the stickers not as good. So if I was to get this one wet, so let me get some of our cleaning solution on the corner of each of them. You can find sometimes that they can fade on fakes. So rub that in. This is one from distribution. You can see where it's seeped under the edge, but the sticker itself is intact. Well, this one here we'll clean off. And in all honesty, look, if I rub that one, you can see the sticker is actually peeling to pieces. That one right on the edge it is, but in the centre it's not. I'd say the quality of the sticker on this one is better. But again, there's very little between them. And the question is will I be able to activate both of them in a few minutes? I have a feeling the answer is going to be yes, to be honest with you. But I'll give it a go and go from there. But in basics, the packaging is pretty much identical, apart from maybe the writing's a little stretched out, the fonts are slightly different, the colour of the sticker is slightly darker, and there's this little code there. And then on the back, as we said, it's just the spacing's slightly different. On the inside, the stickers it looks more vivid on that one. The Windows logo is a little bit bigger. The flag effect is slightly different on that one as well. When they're wet, this one does peel or not affect so well. It seems to be scratching and marking a lot easier, where this one, it is right on the edge, but in the centre it's not. It doesn't seem to absorb the moisture as well. Otherwise the packaging looks the same. The only difference is, again, this one looks a little bit bolder, and the writing at the bottom saying made in Germany doesn't say where it was made there, and the date. And then the discs itself, you've got two discs, look very similar. This one does have the hologram around the edge of the disc. This one does not seem to, but it does on the centre. This one, which is the cheaper one, does have the model version, or the version of Windows, should I say, which is 1903. This one does not. Again, it might be just differences when they were printed. The scratch roughly the same. It's not a sticker, it looks like a genuine printed on the disc, and the same with this one. So in basics, there's very little to see between them. If this is a forgery, it is one hell of a good forgery, but it's all down to activating. If it does activate, then that means that the license key is within Windows, or should I say within Microsoft's database. So it can't really be fake, or can it? And that's where, unfortunately, we were unable to ask Microsoft any questions without, we need to ask someone else. So I asked a few independent retailers, as well as vendors and distributors in the UK, if they had a contact at Microsoft. I got several names. Most of them I didn't actually get a reply from my emails. One name that did come up a lot though was Adris, and I got recommended to speak to him by multiple different distributors and vendors. So after emailing him and waiting a little while, we did get some response, and it goes from here. So to start off with, I basically introduced myself and said who I was, and he says, "Oh, this is an interesting proposition. Yeah, we want to talk to you and answer your questions." Half a month goes by and yet to get a response about what he's basically talking to his team about and see what they can actually do. So again, I send another email saying, "Hey, have you got any updates on this? Because it's been a little while." No response to the email, so another week goes by and I send another email, and then he says sorry, he's been out of the office for, well, pretty much a month. And he passed me on to his colleague named Andy, which, to be honest, I never know what his job title was because he never used a signature and, well, didn't reply to many of the emails. I introduced myself twice to him and basically see if there's any updates on what he's going to be able to tell us. Again, it's been, well, pretty much a month since the original contact and still nothing. After sending him some examples of sort of questions that we want an answering, as in why is these prices different, why doesn't Microsoft close these places down, and so forth, they basically come back with this answer. It's really useful to see the examples of the types of queries you are receiving. From looking at the list, my team doesn't feel it was something that would sit with them or eat some of the details. So we're just trying to make some internal inquiries to see if there's a specific contact we can put you in touch with. Bear with us, we'll come back with what we find shortly. Cheers, Andy. Well, that was over a year ago. I've sent multiple emails since then and have yet to receive a single reply back from them. So in other words, they don't want to answer the questions because they know they can't do anything about it, or they don't know, or they're just dazed and confused. Who knows? But in basics, Microsoft is unwilling to answer or help independent traders. If I was to ask any other vendor or even distributor in the UK a question about a product or even their company, we would get a timely response. And when I say timely, it may take them a week or two, but generally you get the answer you want in. In most cases, we usually get a reply within 24 hours. I find it so irresponsible that a company of Microsoft's size is unable or unwilling to just answer questions. We're not even talking about a phone call here. We're just talking about email saying, why is the prices different and so forth. If they can't answer these questions, what's stopping us going and buying pirated products or products which are destined for other shores which may be cheaper? They can't answer the questions about why they're cheaper or if they're pirated or not. So in conclusion, well, I found two things out. If you're a small company and you want help from Microsoft, well, tough luck, you ain't going to get it. Secondly, the products that we looked at, the two identical, or what they look like identical products, they seem to be both official from what I can tell. One, what was made in Germany, I'm guessing was destined for the UK markets, hence we found it obviously at our distributor in the UK. The one made in the USA did actually have Puerto Rico actually on the disc, so I'm guessing it was manufactured there. If you don't know where Puerto Rico is, it's basically near Cuba, and I'm guessing that was destined for either Central or South America, hence why it's a lot cheaper. From what I've heard, that software is generally cheaper down there because income is generally lower. So I'm guessing what's happened is someone's bought them in bulk from South or Central America and shipped them over to the UK and sold them at the cheap price. Again, no 100% on anything because Microsoft is not willing to answer. If they are pirated, well, to be honest with you, if that's the case, then they've gone to a lot of trouble to make it look so identical for selling something at such a low cost. Now everyone's going to ask, well, did they activate and work? And the basic answer is the ones we found in OEM packs activated every single time. And I've actually got 3 different versions running on 3 different machines which have been bought off of eBay, 2 off of eBay, 1 off of Amazon at this reduced price. And they are all similar packs and so forth. but they still work, they're still licensed. I've even done a fresh install of Windows and they're still relicensed as well, so there doesn't seem to be any issues relicensing them. I have tried using some of these off of these like CD key websites and so forth, which are out there, and I've tried those as well to see, and some of them you can pick up as low as £5, which is ridiculously low. Some cases they work, some cases they don't, and you have to send a message back and they send you another one and you keep trying until it works. And then other times they work straight away. Other times they may not reactivate afterwards. So from what I've found out is, what do you actually do? Where should you buy your Microsoft products from? Well, my answer is still the same as what it was before. If you buy it directly from a distributor, it may cost you more, but at least you know where it's coming from. At least you know it's genuine. And for any reason there is any question about the software, then the distributor is the one what's got to answer the questions.